Hey there, creepy collectors, how's it going? It's Douglas here at Drowned Boy Productions, bringing you another Screaming Ghostface Collectors video. And today we have a few new Ghostface scores and one old school score. A majority of these just came from Spirit Halloween. I just recently did a visit hoping to find the entire new selection of Ghostface merchandise. Unfortunately, they still had not put out the full selection, but they did have a few pieces, so let's go ahead and take a look. First up is one of my favorite pieces that I freaked out about whenever I saw this posted online. Here we have the Ghostface door cover. This thing is awesome. Now, for those of you who have seen the recent Spirit video, you will have already seen the full selection of door covers. They've got Killer Clowns, Trick or Treat, I think they even have like Nightmare Before Christmas, and just a whole full selection. The Ghostface one, which has Ghostface stepping through a shattered glass door, and you can see him stepping out of the house, which is a little bit confusing, I guess. Instead of him looking like he's stepping in, so this would be something you put on the inside of your door, I guess you'd put this on your front door so it looks like Ghostface is stepping out. But overall, it's pretty cool. The artwork is very well done. It is the Fun World costume version of Ghostface with the belt on, and it looks like he's holding the Fun World Ghostface knife, that old school, much larger than a Buck 120, but stylized Buck 120 knife. I don't think I'll be opening this one, but if any of you are interested, this is not a thin plastic door cover like the old Screaming Ghostface door covers. I believe that this is a fabric with like elastic around the edges, so you can just like cover the edges of the door and it just holds on. You don't have to tape it up, staple it up, glue it up, whatever. Pretty cool piece, but not a lot left to say. Next up, we have the Ghostface light up mask. This is the Spirit exclusive version. It looks pretty much like the standard light up, fade in and out mouth mask that was produced. The standard one, however, has a green mouth. The red one is specifically for Spirit Halloween stores. I do believe it is an exclusive. It doesn't say Spirit exclusive on it, but it is. It has a pull tab on it that I will not be pulling. If you guys want to see one of these light up, go check out somebody else's video, or you can check out my Spirit Halloween video. I light up one in that video. Pretty cool mask. However, for $20, I think they are a bit overpriced. I think $15 is a little bit more reasonable for these. But, you know, I got the green one and I had to have the red one because I'm a completionist. And lastly, for Spirit Halloween, we have this piece of apparel. Not a massive Ghostface apparel collector, but I do like this beanie. The fabric is like this red and black tie-dye, and it almost looks like the iris of an eye, a little bit. But it's got the same patch, at least I believe it's the same patch, that's on my hat here. Maybe it's a little bit stylized version. I think this is the actual image. So yeah, looking at the two, my hat has the actual image, and the new beanie has like a drawing version. I don't know if it was drawn by an artist or if they just used an app to do it or something, but overall, still pretty nice looking, and also a little bit overpriced. These are also $20, and I feel like they would be much more reasonable around the $15 price range, but what can you do? And now for the last piece in today's video. This was an eBay score, and this one is very special to me. In my hands, I have the Ghostface mask that got me interested in Screaming Ghostface in the first place. This is what started it all for me. Here we have a beautiful blue metallic MK mask. Now, there's not a whole lot to say about these. It's obviously a nice blue metallic MK mold variant mask. But I want to tell you guys why that mask is so important to me. I think I've told this story on one of the Ghostface collectors groups, but I don't know if I've ever told it here on the channel. So, whenever I was a young kid, I've always loved horror movies. And that started whenever I was left in front of Friday the 13th Part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan at a very, very young age. So growing up, I always had an affinity towards horror and masks, more typically Jason and hockey masks, but I did like all forms of horror. However, at this point in time specifically, I had never seen the movie Scream. I had only seen the masks in stores, and probably out while trick-or-treating, but overall I didn't really know what it was supposed to be, other than a spooky mask. My dad used to do a lot of freelance carpentry and mechanic work whenever I was younger, so I spent a lot of time at other people's houses hanging out with those families while he was working. And for a short while, my dad was doing work for this family, and the son was a really, really cool guy. I wish I could remember his name, don't know anything about him, other than the fact that he was the original Scream Kid, I guess. When I went over to his house, he had one of these blue MK metallics. Obviously, like I said, I liked masks, and I would bring my Halloween masks around with me. He liked masks, and we played quite a bit. And I always was particularly fond of that mask. I think it was probably just because it was metallic, and I just thought it was really, really interesting looking. But he started talking to me about, oh, that's the Scream mask or whatever, and I had no clue what Scream was. I just remembered he also had one of those, I think it was stretch Screamers, Ghostface, like, stretch toys, but it may not have been a stretch Screamers. Maybe it was. I know they did a few different versions of what looks like Ghostface, but he had the one that you squeezed it and a bloody bubble would come out of its mouth. It was really weird. So after seeing how much I enjoyed the mask and the toy, he decided he wanted to show me Scream. And I remember the first time we sat down to watch it together, it was Scream 2, not 1, but Scream 2 on VHS. And that opening scene with Maureen and Phil being murdered in the theater to me was terrifying. Any of the other horror movies I had snuck around and watched at that time always had people off alone or people off making love when they get killed. It wasn't in a room full of hundreds of people. And the idea that you didn't have to be alone, you didn't have to be off drinking or doing drugs or having sex to die was terrifying to me. Anyone could die at any time and nobody would help. And ever since I saw that scene, I have loved the franchise, though I do have to give my love specifically for the masks over to Tim Wagstaff. Growing up, I saw the various different types of masks, and I even knew that the shape of this one was a little bit different than what was in the movie, obviously because it had the very, very thin eyes, and the one in the movie had the much wider eyes because it was Scream 2. So I could tell they were different, but I didn't know anything about them. And it wasn't until I got in the mask community and started learning a little bit more about Scream and Ghostface stuff that I really got interested. And finding Tim's website and seeing all the different variants of Ghostface and how many there were and how different they were or how similar they were just really took a hold of me, got me interested in learning more about them and trying to teach people about them, and here we are all these years later. So while it's not a massively significant mask to most people, the blue MK Metallic does hold a special place in my heart. And the funny thing is, the MK mold, as far as black and white masks, is still one of my least favorite types, but in metallic form, I absolutely love it. And though my collection is not quite complete, with this being added, I almost have the full MK Metallic set. With that being said, I think that about does it for today's video. I love you all, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the rest of the videos we've been coming out with this season. Thank you all for watching yet again, love you all, and see you next time.